and today we're going to have Lydia talk about the social media strategy for hospitality as well. So thanks everybody for coming. These webinars, if you're new today, which comprises of myself, Piyush, the chatterbox who you've all heard from, Henel from Red Cup Cafe, and Lydia is actually one of our team members as well. We will hold these sessions every Monday at 6 p.m. Until we are given the go-ahead to open again. And hopefully, if there's any demand for it, we'll continue to do it as well. They're completely free to attend. All we ask is that you register your place for future sessions as well. The sessions are limited to 45 minutes. We appreciate that with everything going on at the moment, everybody's under a lot of time pressure. Just to let you know that we might take photographs during the event, which could be shared on social media. So please let us know if you don't wish your picture to be taken or shared. And you can message us directly or put something in the chat box. If you wouldn't mind staying on mute for the duration of the talk, while Lydia is speaking, but if you do have any questions, if you could put them into the chat box, we'll make sure that we come back to them at the Q&A session at the end. Henel will be looking after the chat box, so he will make sure that everybody gets seen to and your questions get answered. So moving on, today's guest speaker is Lydia, as I said, who runs a marketing consultancy that helps small and medium businesses achieve their business goals through innovative marketing. And I think you'll all agree that that's especially needed at the moment. But I think how you address your customers might change going forward post lockdown. So Lydia's going to be taking through some strategies to think about that. She'll also be giving us some top tips on implementing a successful social media strategy. So hopefully you'll get some really, really practical advice today. And I won't hold you any longer. I will pass you on to our lovely guest speaker, Lydia.
Hello, everybody. So I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully you can you see the screen? See my slides? Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, right. And just make sure that I've got everything I need. So yeah, so why am I here and able to talk to you and give you tips and advice on your marketing when you've been doing your business for years? So I haven't just studied marketing. I've done it for many businesses and I've got some really good results. I spend my days working with clients on marketing plans and implementing social media content plans and advertising and marketing. So I'm, day to day, I'm in the world of marketing and getting good results for businesses. I'd love you all to write your main marketing challenge in the comments box, so that at the end I can kind of come back to it and give you some tips and advice on what I would suggest for your challenge. But if you do think that as you go through, if there's one that's niggling at you right now, pop it in the box and I'll come back to it. So I'm Lydia. My business is iMarketing. I started it in 2017. I did a business management degree many years ago, and I'm training and studying to be a chartered marketer. So that's my passion. It's, something I really enjoy, which I feel really lucky about, to be honest. So this is me. Find me on social media. I'm under I Do Marketing UK on all of the platforms, and Lydia McEwen under LinkedIn. I do give away lots of free tips and advice, so I'd love to connect with you. If we haven't already, that is. And so today, excuse the pun, but I'm going to give you 5 takeaway tips. And feel free to screenshot or photo any of the slides so that you can use them after the session. They are takeaway tips, so they are actionable points that you can put into play. And that's the only benefit of anything like this. I've been on loads of webinars as well, but really it's putting this into practice, which is where you get the true value. If you can, and if you struggle with any of it, just let me know. So it's about where we are now, really thinking about what can we do that's going to get us to where we want to be. So understanding in 2 steps. Firstly, I'd recommend that you do a SWOT analysis. This can seem quite daunting. If you've done a SWOT analysis before, can you just put 1 in the chat box now for me, please? But basically, map out your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities and threats. So yeah, a couple of us have done SWOT analysis. But it's really important to continually do these because we're in a changing world right now and our environments have massively changed. So mapping out your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, you can look at where those strengths can combat your weaknesses. And you can look at where the crossovers are and how you can maximize those opportunities as well. So thinking about what's changed in the environment, I've put some examples up there for each of them. These aren't going to be relevant for every single business, and there'll be crossovers. There'll be ones that are in strengths for business, but actually they're a weakness for another. It's so important to do it right now. Even though things are slightly out of our control, we can have more control by being armed with the information. So I've probably done 2 or 3 SWOT analysis a week with my clients. And it's so insightful, and we've had loads of light bulb moments that we've just gone, oh my God, that would be a fantastic social media campaign. So it's definitely worth kind of having a go and thinking about it. The second step, which I would suggest you do to kind of put yourself in a position of knowing where you are now, is to do a competitor analysis. So look at various businesses with that your customers could spend their money with. So lots of businesses say to me, well, nobody does exactly what I do, but if I can spend my money with another business and still get a similar result, for example, dinner, if I'm still getting dinner from a different business, then I have, as a customer, ticked that box. So your competitors could be anybody. I'd recommend that you look locally, regionally, and anywhere, and that's mainly so that you can get different ideas. And this is specifically around social media campaigns. Don't obviously copy people and take inspiration from what you see, but you can check out their social media. So look at all of their social media accounts, look at their website, look at their Google reviews, their TripAdvisor, what's their branding like, what content are they putting out there, so the videos they're doing, the posts that they're doing, the blogs that they're writing. And I normally do it on a spreadsheet, but just make notes on what you can do better. Where are they appearing and how can you be there too? So you can get some real information from just having a look at a couple of competitors and really understanding what's working for them, because if they've got a similar target audience to you, it's more than likely going to work for you as well. Okay, so if I was your competitor, you just think about, if I was doing the research on you, what would I find out about your business? And that's what you've got to think about from the perspective of you as well. So make notes on what you can do as you go through each individual competitor analysis and each business that you do it on. And yeah, to sum up, so this is the first step. So to do a SWOT analysis and a competitor analysis is where I would suggest you kind of start to arm yourself with where we are now to be able to move on. So moving on from that is step 2. So what is your message? And this is really important when you're putting together social media posts, because what you need to do is make sure that what you want, the business that you want to come to you is the right business. And this is where you get the opportunity to say that through all of your messaging on social media, whether it's in all of your marketing, whether that's on social media, email, any of your advertising. So we know where we are and what improvements we need. Now we need to start bringing through the right messages. So what stands out in your customer feedback? What is important and will be present in the feedback? So for example, if you take a look at your TripAdvisor reviews or your reviews on Facebook, what is it that people are saying in your feedback? What we want to do is take this and run with it. So is it the speed of service? Is it the price? Is it where you are located? Is it the taste? Is it style? Is it your friendly staff? And then what you need to do is take those key points from the positive and start bringing those words into your marketing messages, so that when you're putting posts together, you're really telling people about, this is what people value about our business, and that's how you can deliver on it. Because if they really value it, that's what's going to be present in their feedback. Does that make sense? You just put a 1 in the, yeah, cool. Okay, so how can you deliver on that better and get those messages out there? Video is a really easy way to do that. You can showcase an experience through video. You can put together social media posts, and like I said, include in the captions those things that are really important to your audience. So yeah, showcase whatever it is that you feel that comes through. If you've got negative feedback as well, I think negative feedback's always a really good opportunity for businesses, because you can see the trends of what people don't want, and you can learn from it. So yeah, it can be quite annoying, obviously, but your marketing is your shop window. So even if you haven't got a physical shop window right now, it's what people see to be able to know whether they're going to transact with you. And you need to wow them to get them through the virtual door and to get them to purchase with you over a competitor. And your message is so important. So how are you communicating that message? So obviously we've said about social media already. And there's lots of other different ways to kind of communicate your message through marketing. So what ones are you currently using? What ones are you missing from your strategy? So thinking back to your target audience, what ones do you think that they would engage with? Social media is a really good one, and you need to be thinking about the images that you're putting out there. Email marketing, text, social media, direct mail, leaflets, advertising, website, whatever you do on all of those channels, what you mostly need to do is make sure that it's consistent. So you're constantly posting, or consistently posting, sorry. Your branding, as we spoke about last week with Mark, is your branding is consistent. You need to be memorable for the right reasons. So for example, on my social media, so many people send me pictures of lilac things. Because my brand is lilac, they associate lilac with me 100%, and also get messages about marketing all the time, because I don't have to live and breathe it. My marketing does that for me. And the most important thing to do is, when you're putting your posts together, is make sure that when that pops up on a news feed, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, they know that it's your business straight away. And that's because of, you can do that really easily by including the colours, making sure that the fonts are consistent. But that's really important when you come to think about the different touch points of a customer journey, is typically between 7 and 12. And we hear that all the time, but the easiest way to make your each of those steps stronger is to make sure that your branding and colours and everything's consistent. So each one needs to be super strong for that to happen, and for you to get that person to transact with you quicker. So yeah, make sure that when your content pops up in the newsfeed on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you're posting, that it has your branding on it. If you don't have a graphic designer, you can use things like Canva. I train that in my social media training to help people kind of build content plans which are consistent with their messaging, but also hitting their goals and look nice as well. So if you aren't confident with Canva and you're going to kind of mess it up, then get a graphic designer to create you some templates so that you can't go too far wrong. But Canva's life-changing for many businesses. And my top tip would be to include a call to action on your posts. So when you're putting together content and your captions, is not only thinking about the caption and what it says, but really tell people what to do next. So if you want them to go to your website, give them the link to go to your website. It sounds really obvious, but some people don't include the links. If you want them to share the post, ask them to share the post. So really think about how you can make people move on to the next step of that customer journey and go from one place to the next, because sending somebody from Facebook to your website is going to help them build credibility. So they see your website, they can see more information, and it's another tick in the box for them with that touch point. So yeah, just think about how you can get people from one marketing method to the next, really. Okay, so I've got you some free content here to kind of take away. This is something I did, well, it's just ended actually. I did a 30-day social media challenge with a lot of different businesses. And the idea was you pick one of the boxes every day and you share a new piece of content. So please feel free to take a snap of this and use it for your social media content. You don't have to be part of the challenge to be able to do it. but it works really well. It's a content challenge. So the idea is you're sharing something every single day about your business, and it does push you out of your comfort zone. I had people that hadn't gone live before they joined in on the challenge, and it really, yeah, it pushed them out of their comfort zone. And other people, it changed up their content from what they were sharing before. So it can be a really good structure to make sure that you're getting the content out there at the moment. My next tip would be to run a collaboration. So this one's a really interesting one. If you pick a business that is the same target audience as you, so not a competitor, these need to be a kind of a comparative or a business that's complementary to your own. What you want to do, and the opportunity here, is to get in front of each other's target audiences. So you could run a top competition together. You could do a social media takeover where you're, say for example, I did one of these on Instagram recently. Somebody I know in Helic Therapies took over my Instagram, and I took over hers. And what we did, we were able to get in front of each other's audiences, and we saw a big increase in followers and engagement because it's a different topic of conversation. And she was coming from a holistic therapy point of view for performance. So it was about using holistic therapies to increase your performance as an entrepreneur. So it was still relevant. And that's the key point, is it is relevant to your industry and to your target audience. What we're trying to do here is deliver as much value as possible through your social media content. And this is just a way of freshening that up. If you do a video together, you could do it via Zoom. Do a guest blog post for each other. It's really good for SEO, search engine optimization. So when people are searching for you on Google, blogs are brilliant for that. But if you guest blog for each other, you also potentially get some backlinks there. Start or do a podcast. There's lots of people doing podcasts at the moment. And discuss how you can add value. So even just having and opening up a conversation together, even if you don't do a collaboration, talk to each other, give each other ideas. How can you support one another through this time? You've got a similar target audience. It's just a really good time to kind of, yeah, collaborate. I know lots of businesses that have done really well from Instagram takeovers and getting in front of each other's audiences for a little while. And then one that kind of gets forgotten, which I just think is just pure gold dust. If you can get back onto reviews, potentially some of you have been closed for a little while, or not delivering on necessarily, not had the time to kind of chase up on reviews, but asking your previous clients to leave you a review. One way, as long as you've got their permissions from GDPR, is text messages are a really, really good way if you've got the data to kind of follow up on reviews. Lots of people kind of ignore emails or post on social media, but text messages seem to kind of be a really good way to get there. Had a lot of success with those. Reply to your previous reviews, just letting people know that you're still around, really. It's just starting that communication up. So this is on Google and Facebook. Of course, you've got TripAdvisor as well. And then leave reviews for your suppliers that you're working with, businesses that you've used. So if you know as well someone who'd be willing to do a video review for you, this is like magic. If you can get somebody talking about your business for you and share that on social media, the job is so much easier because they've created the content for you. So if you do it in the right way, it can help to spread your message really far and wide, and you only have to ask the right person. So again, this one can be fairly daunting, like reaching out to the right people, but it can be really powerful. And then tip number 5 is, when is the time right? So just quickly pop in the chat box when you think the time is right to do your marketing. Yesterday. All the time, now, anytime, yeah, all the time. But the answer is now. Just get on with it. Lots of people are so paralyzed from the idea of, what should I post on social media, or the post isn't quite right, or yeah, there is that. And I have kind of gone on about how your post should look lovely and branded and perfect and all of that. But really, it's better to just kind of get the message out there and make sure that your message is right. And if you're really stuck, have a chat with me and I'll help you. There's lots of people that are doing this out there, and lots of other businesses that are doing really well. And don't be afraid to kind of reach out to those ones that are doing well in your industry and just say, can you give me some tips? Because they're the best armed as well. They know they've done really well from it. So, but ultimately you should be posting daily so that you're at the forefront of people's minds, to remind them of what they're missing. And if you haven't got any content that's right now, then do some throwbacks to things that were there before, but just let people know what's happening and keep communicating. But now is the time. And then, so just to summarize kind of my key points and the 5 takeaways from this is to do a SWOT analysis and a competitor analysis. They are, like, honestly, the amount of light bulb moments, as I said earlier, that we've had from people doing this, that's one of the key things. I know they seem pretty boring, but I get really nerdy about stuff like that. Fine tune your message. So really look at what your feedback has been in the past and how can you pick out those keywords, because again, they're the things that people are looking for. And be memorable. So make sure your content's memorable. If I pop up in the news feed, yeah, you want people to hit like, collaborate. Yeah, so join up with other businesses that have the same target audience as you, who are comparative businesses, and then get more reviews. This is like gold dust, and the time is now to do marketing. But yeah, I'm doing free 30-minute chats about marketing. There's no sales pitch, I promise you now. I'm lucky enough that I don't have to do too much sales pitching around. I know I am a little bit right now, but yeah, people come to me because I help lots of people, and that's been my strategy since kind of the beginning of starting my business, was to help as many people as possible, which is why I'm here now with the Build Back Better team, because we've all got the same strategy, and that's to give as much time and support and help and advice to people. And I'm doing these free 30-minute one-to-one sessions. So and it's surprising what you can come up with in a 30-minute period. But if you'd like to book in, there's a link on all of my social media pages, and it's the post that I did today, so you'll be able to find it really easily, and you can book in via my calendar. And yeah, there's no sales pitch, but I really hope you found that useful, and there's some actionable tips that you can take away from it as well.
Perfect, Lydia. Thank you very much for that. If anyone's got any questions, please do pop them in the chat box, but I'm going to start off by asking you, Lydia, what 3 big mistakes would you say people make with their social media? So
yes, that's a really good question. So lots of people I see when I like do reviews on accounts is they're posting completely at the wrong time, and so they post like past like 10 p.m. Some people post like in the early hours of the morning and expect people to engage with it, and there's so much noise on social media, you just can't be seen then. You need to be posting at the peak and get people to kind of view your post that way. Bad pixelated images is the second kind of one. I would recommend really thinking about good quality imagery when you're posting on social media. And spelling mistakes, that's a kind of a hot topic of conversation, and yeah, just make sure that you're kind of proofing your posts before they go.
Perfect. Yogesh has asked the question, do you help marketing with accountancy firms?
Yes, I do. So I do SEO and pay-per-click for accountancy firms actually, and social media. Yeah, I
would say that you do marketing for pretty much everybody, don't you? Because you tailor it for everybody.
It is tailored. Yeah, it's interesting. Lots of people ask me, how do I do marketing for like everyone? And it's because it's people at the end of the day. We've just got to get the right message out at the right time to the right people.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Give us some examples of how a restaurant owner, I mean, well, I mean, can they be a fellow competitor and ask questions?
Yeah.
Or
Ask what? Call them up.
mystery
Did you
shop
say?
kind of thing?
Mystery shopping. Yeah. So mystery shopping is part of what I'd recommend for competitor analysis. But just make sure that you're being ethical. So make sure that if somebody was going to do it to you, you'd be okay about it. Don't waste people's time to kind of find out a lot of information. You can get a hell of a lot of information just by looking at their kind of digital Insta, Twitter and LinkedIn. LinkedIn might not always be relevant, but just have a little search around and see what their links are on their website. See if the links are actually working. Look at their Google reviews, look at their TripAdvisor, and just kind of pull together a bit of a picture of what their digital footprint looks like. And once you start doing it for one person, one business, and then look at another one, you'll start to really fine tune what your audience is kind of engaging with, because you'll see the posts that work for them or work for another business. So it'll really start to you'll start to understand it more as you go through the process. I do it on a spreadsheet, so kind of break it down competitor by competitor, and then break it down into kind of content. So what's content are they creating? What social media platforms are they on? Are they doing a good job? Are they posting regularly? Is the content they're posting regularly actually any good? Are they driving people away from their Facebook page, or are they just posting for the hell of it? So yeah, it's competitor analysis. I get really geeky about competitor analysis, sorry.
I just thought of another thing. So given the fact is it 4th of July they're allowed to open, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is they should do a kind of countdown to opening. So every day, 5 days to go, 4 days to go, 3 days to go, every single day. If you do something like that, you're creating the hype, maybe put a dish out there, look at, you're going to come and get this, that kind of stuff. You with me?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing.
I think of doing something like that as well, to be honest.
Yeah, you need to be posting as much as possible. And the thing is, I could say to you guys, this is the kind of what you should be doing for your business, but lots of different approaches that would be valid for different businesses here. As businesses have got different opening dates, but just the main point is just to be present. If you're not posting, you're not visible. Or if you're posting at 1 a.m, you're still not visible. And the best way to do it organically is to make sure that you're posting exactly at the right time. Not exactly, but yeah.
I'm being slaughtered on the chat for getting the date wrong. I just guessed 4th of July, guys. I don't even. I'm just thinking, when you have a definite date, backtrack, and there you go. Anyway, I'll shut up now because I talk too much. Right?
Lydia, I'm going to ask you another question here.
Yeah.
Would you say there is a specific sort of amount of posts you should do per day, sort of per week? The reason why I personally would ask, I try and like as many other businesses as possible, but sometimes, for example, when I see too many of them on the day, it just feels like you're overkilling.
Yeah, it is more about quality over quantity, that's for sure. Don't kill it and just be kind of in people's faces for the sake of posting as much as possible. It is quality over quantity, and if you're delivering value and valuable messages, people will tend to follow you, and that's exactly what it is just really keep in mind what you're talking about. So what messages is it you want to deliver, but it needs to be of value to your audience for them to engage and continue following you.
Good. Purely because I would say, for example, although we are in the food business, shall we say, and as much as I do love food, it sometimes gets a bit repetitive, shall we say, when you're just seeing food somewhere, and then for me, it kind of gets lost between everything else.
Yeah, I think my top tip really is at the moment for content out there is asking questions. It doesn't matter what platform you're on at the moment, it's about having a conversation, and people have got more time for conversations as well. So ask questions in your posts, run polls on Facebook, a really good changed. If you include, it's a really good way to kind of talk about it actually. If you've got a post and you've got a link on the post, and you've included like a caption, an image, and you've got your link. If people aren't necessarily liking the post, you don't know whether it doesn't, to the outsider, it looks like nobody's engaged with it. But to you, if you can see 100 click-throughs on your post, would you say that's kind of hitting the goal? I guess the thing is, if you want people to click through, that's a good thing. It doesn't matter whether you've only got 4 likes on the post.
Yeah.
It's the click-throughs.
Yeah, but that's your goal. If that's your goal, like obviously, if you want people to click through, that's a goal, isn't it? You don't get anything from a like, really.
Yeah, it's engagement. You would say more.
Yeah, and if you think you put a post out on social media, include a link. If they then go from the link to your website, and you can retarget.
I think what you said about call to action is really important as well, and just being really clear, because I think when you look at it from a consumer perspective rather than a business perspective, it changes what you're looking at and how you feel about it. So when and hotels I feel have been a lot better at handling their social media and their kind of communication, purely because they've been a lot more informative. So they've kind of told people what measures they're taking, how they're kind of changing their business practice, for example, whereas restaurants have just been like, we're open now, this is our menu, we're open now, and it's not really telling people what they want to hear, or kind of like you're saying about engaging with them as well. And I think that's kind of what they're missing as well. So I think restaurants are quite guilty of that, kind of just put their menu out and be done with it. And like you said, I think if that means going to the website, then fair enough. But what you want at the end of the day is an engaged community that's going to buy from you at the end of the day. If they go to your website and that's it, done, it's not really serving the purpose, is it?
No, I think that's exactly right. I think you need to think again about what it is you're looking to get out of each post that you're doing, and have a goal around it, so that when somebody does something, you can say, yeah, that's what I wanted them to do. I didn't just put it out there for no reason. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I was saying in the chat box that I one collaboration, when you mentioned collaboration, it just made me think, oh, that's what that was their strategy. But I saw quite a high-end restaurant do a collab with a wine expert. So whatever their food was, or whatever their main dishes were, she came in and said, well, with that, this wine would be paired really well with it. And it kind of, it obviously boosted her, visibility in front of their customers, but it's valuable for all of their customers as well. So the customers are actually getting value as well as increasing their reach on both sides, which I thought was really clever.
Yeah, that's it. It's about delivering that value, and it's also the value for the client in that sense is the experience, isn't it? But it's looking at what they are looking, what do they put their value on, like when I said earlier about looking at your feedback and picking out those keywords. What are they saying? What's the trend? And what clients are looking for, and that's what they're celebrating.
I don't think the reviews are used as much. I've never thought about kind of picking those keywords out and seeing what people are liking and not liking. But it's really good. A really good tip there. So if there's any other questions, just a bit cautious of time.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Lydia. I thought that was really, really helpful.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, are we going to close now? Great. Before I do that, hang on, let me just stop there. We've had a few latecomers, and one of them has actually written a novel in the chat. So I'm going to basically allow those that didn't have a chance to give us a 30-second pitch. And it's 30 seconds because we need to go. My dinner's getting cold. Chandra, 30 seconds. Tell us who you are, what you do, And you made a little announcement. You may want to mention that too. Go on, off you go.
All right. Okay. Hi, my name's Chandra Sharma and I'm from Tangent Workwear. We help the hospitality trade get their branding right on all their workwear, from chef's whites right the way through to polo shirts and t-shirts. The event that Piyush is referring to is this Thursday, which is, yes, it is as well. This Thursday at the Virtual Champagne group of restaurants. We're doing virtual restaurants because we want them to showcase what their restaurant's all about. So come and join us between 12 and 1:30 for some lovely networking. That's Chandra Sharma, Tangent Workwear. Thank you.
Brilliant. And just give us a hand. Who didn't get a chance to speak? I've forgotten. Paul Hughes, energy broker. I've had a good chat with Paul. He saves businesses money on their gas, electric, and amongst other bills. Tell us more, Paul.
Yeah, fine. And Piyush has also coerced me into joining the FSB. So anyway, thanks for that. He's a good talker. No, honestly. No, I'm here to help anybody in the hospitality industry, restaurant business, etc., obtain a good contract for their business. I know it's a very hard time for you at the moment, and I'm missing going out to my restaurants as well. So hopefully that'll all come back into a full swing soon. And I know it's hard to get contracts. So if you want to have a chat, details are in the thing for LinkedIn. Do so, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks, Push.
No problem. Mr. Elliott, welcome back. Sorry about the trouble coming in, but here's your 30-second opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's actually because we had a cyber attack this morning. And it wiped out the whole house and all our computers. So there you go. Yeah, so thank you. So Lydia, thank you. Well done as well. Really, I think they're fun with where I was coming from last week on kind of like the deeper level of branding in terms of getting that side right. That's what I do in terms of I work with hospitality and hotels as a specialism. That's my vertical I work in. And then I have a team of 12 people who cover the specialisms and expertise in the same way that Lydia picks off and does some of those things for herself as a specialist. So that's what I do. There's my LinkedIn and my email address, my website address. So anytime you want to contact, you can. It's been a hell of a day. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
The novelist, the author of the Today's Chat channel. Can I introduce you to Tristan Griffiths? I've never met him, but off you go, Tristan. I know you're itching to talk.
Hey everyone, so yeah, Tristan Griffiths, you can find me as I'm Tristan G across all the socials, nice and easy everywhere. I actually run a digital marketing agency as well called It's Nomad 9 with a focus on removing the overwhelm from social media marketing, content creation and live streaming. One of the things we specialise in is actually creating content at scale. I saw Guy chiming in about repurposing and stuff like that, and what hospitality businesses can be doing right now, even when they're closed, with teaching recipes and stuff like that. They've got empty, clean kitchens. Right now would be a good way to stay engaged with people. Brilliant presentation, by the way, Lydia, for that. I've joined a little bit late, but what I heard was good. But they could be showing up and doing that now, and partnering and doing takeaways and becoming a store where people can get resources they can't get from the shops. So there's loads of stuff they can do right now. Marketing right now is absolutely key to it in the digital space. So yeah, absolutely on point.
Great collaboration opportunities here, guys. All right, raise your hand if you want to do a 30-second. Kamal Patel, my brother.
Hello there. Hello, everybody. I just want to say thanks to Henel. He introduced me to this event, and Lydia, excellent presentation. Really enjoyed hearing about that. I've been in IT for a number of years, and what astounds me is every time you talk to somebody with any kind of technical knowledge or skill, you always learn something. So it's really nice to hear your experiences and share some of your ideas. So thank you. So my name's Kamal Patel. I run a company called Airweb Solutions. Since 2009, I've been running a tech consultancy for multiple industries, but of late, over the last 2 or 3 years, been specifically working in the hospitality industry, trying to help them streamline their technology and their workflows to allow them to focus more on their businesses and what they're good at, maybe cooking, maybe making coffees, or just customer service, really. So we provide a number of solutions to simplify and make it easy for businesses to run efficiently. One of the things that we've been building over the last 2 or 3 years is a cloud-based EPOS system. And I know there's many EPOS system options out there, but we're really proud of ours because it is hugely rich in features, and there is one single fixed cost. There's no per device pricing, and it includes booking system, like Treatwell. It also includes a loyalty system and is completely managed by yourselves in terms of your inventory and your products. I do invite anybody who's interested to just contact me, and I'm very happy to give them a demo or a presentation. And yeah, so thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm
just going to vouch for Kamal, because he's doing literally all he was supposed to do was move my emails from GoDaddy to Outlook. That was the first project. From then, he's doing my EPOS system, which I've got to vouch for is an amazing system. He's doing my website. He's getting me a laptop. And we're also working together on a lot of things. So I've got to say, Kamal him and his team are absolute genius.
Thank you.
Henel, give him my number. He needs to be pushed, right?
Definitely, honestly, he is a top guy.
Right. Okay. While you're on the subject, you said that Harrow Council's got a pile of cash, right? What's that all about? Very quickly.
Oh yes. I'm just gonna. This is something which I've discovered a couple of weeks ago, 10 days, and this is going to help every single one of you. I've really got to make sure you all listen to this. Contact your local council. Mine is Harrow, but they will offer you some free help. There's a business hub in Harrow. I've connected with them. They will help you with literally everything. They'll put you in touch with the right people. It's free. That's all I'm going to say. The government, the council is there to help you. So please, honestly, search it. It will help every single business. Doesn't matter whether you're marketing, branding, hospitality, which hopefully you all are. But honestly, it's a free service. Please do look into that because it's enormous help for you. I don't work for the council, obviously.
Okay, on that note, firstly, on behalf of the Build Back Better hospitality team and our lovely attendees here today, and thank you, Lydia, for such an informative talk. Certainly eye-opening, very motivational. Many of you have gained some great value from this session. So on that note, if I can ask everybody to unmute and give Lydia a huge round of applause.
Yes, thank you, Lydia.
Thank
Once
you.
again, thank you guys for attending and my fellow teammates. Oh, I'm jumping in here. Each time it's great to see all of you turn up, regulars and new faces, novelists and authors turned up today. It was great to see. Notes for your diary, 22nd June, environmental health. Now, you need to meet Samantha Delamore. I signed her up as a FSB member. Absolutely amazing product. You need to see what she does. It's really good. 29th of June, we have an AV expert talking all things digital. I'm going to launch a poll now, very, very quickly. Where are we? Launch polling. Can you see it? I hope you can. Anyway, if you could whiz through that, and I'll just end by saying thanks to all my team members, Lydia, Henel, and Natasha. We all love making these events happen. Very optimistic team we have here. We want to help the hospitality industry reopen and build back better. So we're all rushed off our feet. Just remember the same Zoom link applies every Saturday, every Monday, 6 o'clock. Chris, turn up. Monday, beg your pardon. I need food. All right, I just want to finish with let everyone finish the poll. What many have we got? 10, 2. One more person. Everyone done it? Thumbs up if you've done it. Okay, I'll close it now. End polling. Lydia, didn't she do well?
Thank you.
Oh, share results.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Okay, guys, have a great day. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.